What up though? What's going on? How you guys doing? If you are seeing this right now, that means I've had a productive day. I hope you did too. But if you're liking, commenting, and subscribed, that means you fuck with me, which means I fuck with you. Period. A few disclaimers before I get into this story, you guys. If any of my stories I am naming people and not really explaining who they are, that's because they have been talked about and introduced in other stories. I almost always put the connected stories in the description box. Any other story where I first introduce somebody, or if this is a part 2, part 3, I always list it in the description box. Something else, make sure you are liking, commenting, and subscribe. Seriously, you guys, if you have followed my stories, because they are in order, I started from my first few memories all the way to my most recent one, so it'll just be easier for you to start from the beginning and work your way up. But if you are just coming here, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. Now, a disclaimer about ghosts specifically. If you know who Ghost is, let me just say that Ghost ends up being the worst decision I ever made. In the beginning, when I first introduced him, I did tell a few traumatic little incidents, how we was out here making bad decisions and going to jail and trying to figure life out. And it's still hard to talk about. So anybody that actually knows this person or knows the story or knows me and what I've been through, I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to make light of this relationship. I am just telling the story. It is hard for me to bring up any even close to good memories about this time of my life, because we will get there. We will get there. I'm also gonna tell you that I probably will tell this story and maybe one more story before this will go to the membership, just because it's not really about making money, because I'm going to post videos regardless if people start watching or not, just like I'm gonna post the rest of this story in my membership, whether you guys become a part of it or not. But I feel like people that really want to know and people that really fuck with me would choose to support me to hear this part of my life. I don't want to just put it out there for the whole wide web to hear as of now. So this story and the next story about ghosts will probably be the last 2 stories on my regular channel page. Okay, so I think that's all the disclaimers for now. Let's get right into it. The last thing about ghosts was how we got caught up doing some shady things, and our karma, my karma especially, came back really fast. This man's life is proof that karma is real, but karma was coming back really fast for me around this time. So as I mentioned in a couple other videos, I did start working this job downtown. Now this was a straight shot from my house to downtown, from downtown back home. I used to catch the bus or whatever. And there was times, like at this point, me and him had been together for probably about maybe 5 or 6 months. My mom was still helping me with the twins a lot. This is when Lucky was being very inconsistent. Ghost would help me out a lot with the girls. Like I mentioned, they did have a relationship with him. Everything was going how I needed to go. I would go to work, I would come home, he would have jobs on days that I was off, and we were just doing our thing. Now our relationship, how fast we jumped into it, how toxic it was, you know what I mean? It's like, that was a red flag in itself. you know what I'm saying, me jumping into a situation with him after him and Kanan fought was a red flag he shouldn't have ignored. And me letting him in my space, letting him around my children, letting him in my life, and just let him settle so fast was definitely a red flag. Like how he just came in like we had knew each other forever. But our relationship was so different. It was so different from anything I had ever experienced. It was something about like when we was around each other, like the energy in the room, you know, sometimes like we would hold each other and it's like our heartbeats synced. You know what I mean? And I don't know if other people get this feeling, but I'm so big on like energy and vibes, and I can just tell when energy shift, and I can just, most of the time I'm right about the mood and the energy in the room. So when we would lay together and hold each other, it just seemed like our heartbeats synced, and we would like breathe in and out together. And it used to be like these kind of meditating moments together where it just was like I've never experienced that with somebody, right? Like he would literally put his hand on my chest and the same thing would happen. We would have these moments, but then there were other moments where, let's say I come home from work and he's very distant. So if our energy is that strong when we're on the same wavelength, I felt the difference from when he wasn't connected to me. You know what I mean? I would walk in and be like, oh, hey, you know, and I used to tell him like, I don't feel you. You know what I mean? He knew what that meant. Like, because we were so in sync with our, you know what I'm saying, our love, I would be around him sometimes and I wouldn't feel it. I wouldn't feel him. I wouldn't feel it. I wouldn't feel that feeling. It's hard to explain. Comment down below and let me know if you know something about what I'm talking about. So, like I said, sometimes I would come around and the feeling wasn't there. And I would tell him, like, I don't feel you. And then we would, like, literally put our hands on each other's chest and try to get back to it. And then he'll come back to me. Like, literally, he would come back to me. So, a little further down the line, he does tell me that he was taking medicine. And I don't want to seem like I am talking about anybody with this disorder, or that I'm bashing it, or that, you know what I'm saying, I have a problem with these people. But he told me, y'all, that speed bump outside really be tearing y'all car up. That must have been a trailer or something. Sound like the house was falling down. But anyway, right, he told me he was taking these pills because he was literally diagnosed bipolar. Right? So when I hear bipolar, especially back then when I hadn't done any research, when I wasn't up on, you know what I'm saying, mental illness and stuff like that, when I hear bipolar, I instantly think like multiple personalities and all this other stuff, not knowing that that is completely different. Like, I think it's called DI something, when you have multiple personalities or whatever. But when I hear bipolar, that's just what I think. Like, oh, you like helter skelter, like, you know what I'm saying? So when he said it, then he was saying he was taking these pills, and this is like months, like well into our relationship. Let me just say, we end up being together after it was all said and done about 4 years. It ended up being on and off, but we haven't got there. But 4 years altogether. And this is probably about 6 or 7 months into us literally living together, making our lives work together. He's telling me that he has been taking these pills this whole time, and he was diagnosed bipolar. So when he told me that, you know, of course, it was after one of these moments where I tell him that I'm not feeling him, like I don't feel his energy, like I need him to come back to me. And it kind of made sense. It was like, okay, when you take these pills, is that when you kind of be off with your mood? Is that when your energy be off? Like you kind of be dry, you be quiet, you be standoffish? And he was like, actually, it's when I don't take the pills that I feel that way. I'm like, okay, like I said, at this time I had no idea about anything to do with bipolar, no mental illnesses. Honestly, I have never believed in a lot of different a lot of different things that people say they're. Now it's cats fighting in the backyard, y'all. I don't know if y'all can hear that. And now I think the money about to start tripping. Is this a sign that I shouldn't tell this story? Because why is these cats fighting? Well, let me just keep going, y'all. Right. So I wasn't believing wholly, or I wasn't read up on bipolar. I also did not believe in depression. I always felt like if you get to a point where you just beat yourself up, where you can't get anything done, I feel like it's ways around that. I feel like it's all in your head. I feel like it's a mindset. I feel like you just have to fill your day with more activities that make you happy, with more people around you that keep you motivated, you know, stuff like that. Because I would get in depressive states, and I would get in a mood where I don't want to go to work, or I quit a job, or, you know what I'm saying, just try to check out from reality for 2-3 days at a time, and then I snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? So you can call that depression, but I know people go through depression for months and years. Like, oh, I was depressed for 5-6 years. That just seems so extreme to me, especially back then. So when he told me that, and I'm like, okay, so you basically saying you ran out your pills. Like, is that what you saying? Like, you need to go back to the doctor? And he like, yeah, because his old job and his old relationship, he had insurance and all this stuff going on. So now that he is basically hustling and getting paid under the table, he doesn't have insurance. So I actually helped him sign up through the state to get his insurance and get his paperwork. And this is still, you know what I'm saying, weeks and weeks going past before he can get back to his pills. And I honestly did not agree with any pill taking, because like I said, I'm in the mind state of, you don't need none of these pills that the people is giving you, because I feel like maybe that's making it worse, to where you feel like if you don't take them, you're not yourself. I'm thinking, I'm not believing in this disorder. I'm really not believing in it, even though it's very real. Right? So time is going on. He eventually starts working with this moving company, a guy that he met, you know, in his old life with his old girlfriend. He met him through her, and he had recently moved to not the city, but somewhere close to the city, and he was talking to him and telling him he needed some help with the moving company or whatever. So I'm still working downtown. Ghost is now doing moving jobs on the weekend, because I'm off on the weekend, and we are living our best life. He makes very good money with this moving company. Right. So eventually, like on days where his boss or whoever the guy he used to work with, eventually the guy started calling him to do moving jobs on his own. So he needed help. He needed to get a team. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm gonna say that Ghost's mom and his family was from Flint. I'm gonna say Flint. So all of his family on his mom's side has stayed in Flint. So when he started getting moving jobs where he had to go by himself, he felt like he needed a team. He recruits his brother, and his brother slowly starts staying with us. Like, his brother would like catch the bus down here, like the Greyhound or whatever down here, and he would stay with us, and they would go do these moving jobs. It got to the point where I could not go to work. I had to end up quitting that job, because the jobs are coming in so much that I didn't have anybody to keep the twins, especially, you know, when my mom was busy. My work schedule, I was calling off almost every other day, so I had to quit that job. And now Ghost is the only one working. He's going to work, doing these moving jobs, coming back home with all the money, giving it all to me. I'm paying the bills. We're straight, right? So this is actually how I started cleaning. One of his customers needed cleaning help, and he asked me like, hey, you want to make a couple dollars? they need some cleaning while we moving stuff. So, you know, I was going to ask the boss or whatever if he knew somebody, but I figured I'd ask you. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, y'all, my first cleaning job, I literally had a bucket, a mop, a broom, a dustpan, and a bottle of Dawn dish soap. And these people was moving out, and they just needed their house, like, you know, presentable, so when the apartment people come, they can get their little security deposit back. So I literally cleaned my first place with a bottle of dish soap, a rag, and a bucket. Literally, y'all, and the rest was history, because as you know, I started cleaning and I never stopped. So time is going on. I'm gonna say we're getting into maybe we're past our first full year of being together and living together. We are doing moving and cleaning. We have a full-fledged business. He does the moving, I do the cleaning. Eventually, we start advertising on our own. We had ads on Craigslist. We made a Instagram page. We ordered some shirts. We got our LLC. We got bank account. We did all these steps to start a business. So now we have our own moving and cleaning business. We're official. I'm cleaning full time. He moving full time. The twins are with my mom, and this is when their dad starts to be a little bit more consistent. So they would go with him on an every other week basis. So they was they in daycare? Was they in school around this time? I think they was in like preschool or like kindergarten around this time. And it's like, I would keep them for a week and take them to school and back home. And then, did I say his real name? I hope not. Then Lucky would keep them for a week and make sure they go to school. And we was doing it like that. Like I told you, like the second year me and Ghost was together, Lucky started being way more consistent. And I believe it's because he had finally got him a place of his own. Like he wasn't just living with Leprechaun. They had went and got their own place together. So he just started getting them more. So everything is running smoothly, it seems like, right? We're getting money. And when I'm talking about getting money, we getting money. If we both go, if he go and do 2 moving jobs and I'm cleaning with him, which is, you know, to the customer, that's completely separate from the moving. So if he go and make $500 from 2 moving jobs, and then I'm over here making $200-300 from the 2 cleaning jobs, we coming home with damn near a stack. We coming home with $700-800 every day. And when we first started advertising, it was slow. Most of our business came from people he had already did moving for. The couple people I had already did cleaning for was referring us to all their friends and family, and we was getting work on a daily basis to the point where I had bookkeeping pros was adding up. Like literally we getting money. So like I mentioned before, he would give me all the money. I would give him his allowance, and you know, I would pay the bills and do what we need to do around the house. I would do the shopping. I would go out sometime. You know, we was good. We end up getting a whole nother car note, and we are living our best life around this time. So like I said, his brother that came from Flint would come almost every other day. After he would go home for the weekend and come back and spend the whole week. We actually did use Sloths. We used her brother a few times for the moving if Ghost's brother couldn't come from Flint. We was just doing what we knew how to do. It seemed like everything was going so good. Like my mama was even looking at me like, I'm so proud of you. Like y'all got y'all business going now. Honestly, my mom never did like Ghost, and I feel like it was at first I feel like it was because he wasn't black, honestly. And he's always been awkward around people. My family would have get-togethers, and he would talk if somebody talked to him, but he wasn't friendly. He wasn't like, he never showed people his personality. Like other people outside of our relationship would be like, you know, I see what y'all got going on. It seemed like y'all good, because I'm just the type of person where I would bring it out of him a little bit. Like we'll be around people and I'll like grab his hand or give him a kiss and he'll smile, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And it'll be like, oh, y'all cute, you know what I'm saying, but nobody really knew him. He never let anybody really know him. So a lot of times people will be like, where did you find him at? Like, who is this man? Like, I mean, y'all see y'all doing good. It started off kind of rough, but I see, like, he getting his shit together. You got your shit together. I see it, but who is he? Nobody knew him the way I thought I knew him, right? Let me just say that. Around people, he just didn't have a personality. He just didn't. Now, unless they started talking about some conspiracy theory type stuff, he was really into the whole Anon thing. If you know what Anon is, then you know what I mean. He was into weed, anything to do with weed. He would get excited about anything to do with our business. He loved, you know, quoting people on prices. He loved talking about how we got started and how he do it and what we do. He loved talking about that. But just regular get to know you type conversation, he wasn't there for it. He wasn't here for it. If somebody asked him something, he'd answer the question and then it'd be like, oh, okay. I said around this time, I'm feeling like things are going well. One day, this is a weekday where Ghost wanted to go to Flint. He wanted to actually take his brother to Flint to drop him off. He wanted to stop and see his grandma. Actually, he wanted to go to he wanted to go to another state to see his grandma, and then he was gonna take his brother to Flint, right? So around this time, maybe this whole week, we kind of been off as far as energy. We would get into, I wouldn't even say we would get into debates. Like, y'all, we barely argued about anything. If we argued, it was because he got into one of his moods where he would get quiet and be distant. And then, like, after so long, all these months passed, we damn near 2 years in this relationship, I got tired of it. Like, at first, it was like, okay, I'm going to let him get his little time, let him get his space, wait till he come back to me. Which is crazy to keep saying out loud, because I literally would feel like, let me wait till he come back to me. Like, come back in the room because you're not here. But eventually, I would get mad and I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that weird ass shit. Like, why you acting like that? Like, is you fucking with somebody else? Like, I used to just come out the blue with it because it just, it boggled my mind how you could just shut down and literally not even seem like the same person in the same day. Like, that was crazy to me. So we would get into it about stuff like that. We never had any money issues. I didn't think we had any cheating issues. Of course, I would still entertain people conversations because Ghost was not the type of person that I can, like, really laugh and talk shit with. Like, we would smoke. He never really did drink like that, but I couldn't kick it with him like I could with RJ, like I could with who else? Like, not even with Kanan. Me and Kanan would fight, but we was really cool. You know what I'm saying? We had more in common than me and Ghost. So I could never sit and kick it with Ghost like that. It was always so cut and dry now that I think back on it. So we had got into it like all this week. We was just not on the same vibe. I wasn't feeling him. He was not in the room for like 3 days in a row. So he tells me that he's gonna go see his grandma in this other state and take his brother back to Flint. Mind you, he's taking my car. So, you know, I remember sitting on the couch and I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Like, we haven't been on the same page all week anyway. Why not drive out of town and I'll see you when you get back? Basically, that's what he was saying. He's getting ready to leave. His brother is sitting on, we had 2 couches for some reason, because honestly, this moving company, people be like throwing stuff away or not wanting stuff, and we would just take it. So we had a couch in the dining room area. We had a sectional couch in the living room area. So I'm sitting in the dining room area because we had 2 different TVs, because he would sit on one couch and play his game and smoke his weed, especially when he was feeling some type of way, and I would sit on the couch in the dining room and watch TV. right? Y'all. So, right, he's getting ready to walk out the door, and his brother is sitting on the other couch in the living room playing a game. So he walked past me, and he goes up to his brother. We're gonna call him, I guess we can call him Tommy, Tommy Egan. So he like, yeah, Tommy, you ready? So Tommy like, I'm not going. And then, you know, I look up because the whole reason of you even leaving was to really drop him off. You just added in this stop in a whole nother state to go see your grandma. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm looking like, how is he not going? I'm literally sitting on this couch. The twins, they were either gone or they might have been gone, because I don't even see why he would take the car if I had the twins clearly. So yeah, they must have been gone this week. So I'm just sitting on the couch listening, watching TV, but I'm low-key listening. He like, yeah, I'm not going. He like, what you mean you're not going? He like, I don't want to go. I'm going to just chill. He like, and whatever, all right. And I stopped him. I'm like, Ghost, how you gonna leave? I thought you was taking him back. He was like, I guess he just gonna stay. I don't know, but I'm still gonna go see my grandma. I'm like, okay. Go see your grandma. Like, maybe you need, like, take a drive, take a break. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had no reason not to trust this man. We had no real issues besides his moments to himself where he's in his head or he needs his meds. You know what I mean? I trusted this man with my life. I trusted this man too much with everything that I have. So he leaves, y'all. The night is going on. I don't even know if we had talked on the phone that much. He probably called me like, hey, yeah, I just got here kicking it with my grandma. You know what I mean? He did go see his grandma. I know he did. So he comes back in the wee hours of the morning. Nothing much is said for a while. Like, it was like nothing happened. Like, you went to see your grandma. Honestly, it was not his first time going to see her. Now that I'm thinking about it, because like this wasn't his first time like, oh, I'm gonna go see my grandma. I actually went with him to see his grandma. So it wasn't out of the normal. You know what I'm saying? It was just random for him to leave his brother. For sure. That was random, but you know what I'm saying? Whatever. If you're not gonna take him back, I guess the brother gonna stay here. I don't know why he don't want to see his grandma. But I wasn't thinking nothing of it, y'all. I had no reason not to trust this man. So, time is going on, I want to say like a week. I haven't really spoke on our intimate moments, but anytime it happened, it was because I initiated it. We had good times, and it was always good, but he never initiated it. It was always me. And I never thought about that until way after everything that happened. You know what I mean? He just wasn't like that. Like, he would never tell me no, but I was always the one to initiate it, to get it started. And if I didn't say anything about it, he didn't say anything about it. So a couple weeks passed after his trip to his grandma's house, and we haven't touched each other. Mostly because before he left, I wasn't feeling him. And then even when he came back, it just seemed like he was in a mood. And I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? We would sleep next to each other. We would talk about business. We would go to work. But we just was not connected. And I wasn't offering it. I wasn't trying to get it. And we just was not on that. So one day he tells me like, you know, I don't know what was in the food you had cooked last night, but my stomach been cramping. And I'm thinking, like, I mean, we did have some tacos or something the night before. I'm like, why is your stomach cramping? I'm like, maybe gotta use the bathroom. He like, no, I really don't gotta use the bathroom. Like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, this is weird. So then, like, the next couple days, he like, I think I need to go to the doctor. Like, what's wrong? He like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm cramping. Like, my stomach, it feel like I gotta do a number 2, but I don't. So it's like my stomach just been feeling like cramping, like bubbling, like it just hurt, like my side and my back. I'm like, what? Okay, let's go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you know, I told y'all I already signed him up for his insurance and stuff, got him together, so you could just go to the doctor. So he goes to the doctor, y'all. They run all the tests. A couple days pass, his phone rings. He has the C word, right? Now, I haven't mentioned, but I definitely did what I did with RJ when he went to jail. I definitely did it a couple more times, even when he came back. You know what I mean? Because RJ was RJ. And when Ghost would get into his moods, I would be so turned off. I would be damn near ready for him to go, but we was getting money and we kind of got this whole family unit going on. So I would step out and come back because RJ wasn't like, oh, I want you to be with me. He was just fun. RJ was fun. So as soon as he said it, I was scared. You know what I'm saying? But it happened so long ago. Like, when he's telling me that he had the C word, I probably hadn't been with RJ in like 3 months. So there's no way that is me. But I don't know. Because I hadn't been. This is before I was up on going to the doctor every 3 months. Because if I got the same partner, why would I have to keep going to the doctor? But clearly I did not keep the same partner. So I should have been going every 3 months. But listen, it had been 3 months. I still wasn't sure. You know what I'm saying? Even with Ghost, it hadn't been a month yet. We probably hadn't did it in like probably just a month. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm instantly heart stopped, heart scared. Like, damn, did RJ nasty ass? I'm thinking that in my head, but I'm looking at him like, you got what? He like, I'm sorry. You sorry for what? What are you talking about right now? When I went to see my grandma, I did stop and see somebody. Who? Where did she? Who? What? Y'all, I never in my life until this moment expected him to do anything. Even though I was doing what I was doing, he just was not. He didn't seem like the type. He don't even like people. He don't even like females. He really didn't. We would see a big booty walking down the street. He'd be like, that wretched ass bitch. Why she got her ass hanging out? Like he just, you can't push it past nobody. My mind was going crazy. I'm thinking I done gave it to him from RJ freaky ass. But he really did cheat on me. And I really had the nerve to be mad. You know what I mean? But he didn't know. He didn't know. So it's like, I can't believe you. So y'all, I go to the doctor. I don't have it. I went to the doctor. I did not have it. So, you know, my secret never had to come out about RJ. And now we just dealing with what are we going to do? We're arguing every day. Who is she? He don't want to tell me who she is. He don't, you know, I'm like, let me see her picture. Call her. Tell her you done. It wasn't supposed to happen. I just stopped by to see her. Where did you meet her? Where did this bitch come from? Y'all, to this day, I never found this shit out. We get into it. This man tells me, well, you said you was going to lose some weight. He tells me this one day, y'all, and this is way after I got tested. We just kept butting heads after this because I don't even know who you are. I stare at you in your face every day and think you can never hurt me, never do me no wrong. You've been out of the room, but in the room for at least a month. And now you're telling me I was supposed to lose some weight. That's why you cheated on me? Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Y'all, him and his brother packed their bags and went to Flint. They went to Flint, y'all. Him telling me basically I wouldn't have cheated on you if you wasn't so thick. I sent him on his way. I did, but he came back. He actually stayed in Flint for a while. He stayed in Flint close to a year. He stayed in Flint for a while, y'all. So when he came back, I realized I should have let him stay in Flint. But we'll get there. We'll get there, y'all. I feel like Bailey staring at you and she'll be like, I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. Y'all. Until next time, be productive, be safe, and still have fun. Peace.